your power goes out, you really don't want to mess around. You just want to be able to get some backup power going quickly. Well, today I'm going to show you an option of a compact station that has a whole lot of power in it. This is the Nornvin N1400FB 1500 watt power station. Let's check it out. All right, folks, welcome back. Now, it's not often that I see something in about this form factor that has a whole lot of power in it. I was really surprised. When I first looked at this, I'm like, oh, that must just be a rendering of what they're actually going to send me. That's not the right size. You know, I didn't think it was going to be this size because normally 1500 watt units and above are a little bit bigger, a little bit taller. And I was really impressed to see that this thing actually could be up to the task. So, this is a Nornvin 1500 watt power station. It is a bit on the heavy side, very dense battery, and it is a LiFePO4 battery. 42 pounds about. I was kind of shocked when I picked it up. You know, something this size, again, you're thinking it's going to be a little bit lighter, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, that's kind of heavy. But all in all, it's a really nice station. I've done a lot of different tests with this thing so far. I've powered some stuff that it probably shouldn't have powered, and it worked. I was actually really impressed with it, so I wanted to kind of show it off to you today. Now, Nornvin was nice enough to send this to me for review. Sometimes I'll buy some of these. Sometimes they send them for review. They sent this to me for review. So I definitely wanted to give you guys a chance to check it out. Now, one of the neatest features on this thing is it has a car jumper in it. So you can jump a car battery with this thing. You will need to buy the separate cable that comes with it. It is these cables. If you already have one of those little jump packs, you have one already. You know, if you have one of those little jumper packs that looks like a big power bank, you already have one. So you'll plug it in on either side, whichever one fits, and you'll be able to jump your car using this battery. That was really impressive. Your AC output, again, is 1500 watts. You'll have a peak of, I believe it's 2000. So if something jumps to 2000 watts when you plug it in, this will handle it just fine. And it goes a little over the 15, but we're not going to test that today. It worked fine. I just want to show you what it can do, not try and blow it. It does have a pure sine wave inverter, so your sensitive electronics are safe to stick in there. No problem at all. You can do the jump starter. It has a 500 amp peak current of 1000 amps on your jump starter. So that will definitely jumpstart your battery. It does have all the usual protective functions: the overcurrent, over circuit, over shortage, over voltage, overcharge, under voltage, and over temperature. You do have a 12 watt LED display up front here, and you have all your inputs on here underneath this thing. One of the things I love about this thing is turning it on. You don't have to push and hold. I literally just push it and the AC is off. Push it again, the AC is on. Some of these devices, they'll let you turn the DC and the USB on and off like that easy, but you make you hold the AC. And I don't know why they do that. It's kind of annoying, but all in all, nice unit and very easy to operate. You do have two USB-C outputs up here, three USB outputs up here. You have two of them. I'm sorry, one of them is a USB 1, and the rest of them are USB 2 outlets. You do have two barrel connector, 3.5 millimeter connectors down here for your 12 volt output and a regulated 12 volt plug. So what we're going to do with this thing is I'm going to try out some of the devices. First, I want to test out the inverter and see what the sine wave looks on it. Then we're going to plug in some heavy duty stuff and see how well it handles the power. So let me get my meter out and we'll check out the inverter. All right, so got it plugged in there. Nice smooth sine wave on it. So you know that works perfectly fine. Definitely good to know. And I really like having this meter now because I can actually test that kind of stuff. Before, I'll be honest with you, I kind of had to take their word for it. It's nice to be able to test it and see that it actually does what it says it's going to do. Now, I did misspeak earlier. I told you that both of these were jumper cable plugs. They are not. This is your jumper cable plug. Okay? This is for connecting to an RV. You can connect this to an RV and power it with a separately sold cable. They do sell the cable separately. So that is for the battery sign is for the RV connector. That's for your jumper cables. I just wanted to correct that because I know some people use these in their vans and for, you know, off-roading and stuff and overlanding, and that would definitely be a handy little thing to be able to connect to. Yeah, you can always just plug in your stuff and stick it in a corner somewhere, but to be able to power your whole RV with it is pretty darn cool. Now, I wanted to go over the inputs really quick. Your AC input up here is, of course, just going to be a plug, standard 3-prong connector plug. You do have a barrel connector there for an input. You also have the Anderson power poles in there for an input, and I really do like those. Even the bigger ones, they have a very positive connection. You stick it in there, it clicks into place, and it's just good. So I definitely like that for a connection. We are going to test this out with a solar panel and see how well it charges up with the solar panel. I'm going to tell you one thing. This thing came about 67% full. I plugged it in out here. Now, you guys know my power strip back there, that yellow one. It runs into another older power strip on the bottom. There's nothing else plugged into it. I just needed an extension cord, and when I built this desk, I was lazy. So I just used another power strip, as an extension cord. That power strip doesn't have the same power that one can handle. So this thing charges up at a very high rate. I had it at like 14 or 1500 watts when it was charging up from wall power, okay? That one was fine, but it blew the breaker in the one on the floor. So you definitely want to plug this directly into an outlet in your home somewhere if you're going to be charging it off that. This can do up to 400 watts of solar charging. And the interesting thing with this is when I plugged it in, I came back out and saw it was blown. I'm like, oh, great. I thought I blew a circuit breaker for the house. I didn't. It was just the little power strip at the bottom. So I brought it inside, took it into my kitchen, and plugged it into one of my outlets in there. I wanted to be safe, so I put in the GFCI outlet just in case it got over hot or anything like that. And I forgot about it. I walked into my room and just kind of, walked into my computer area and just kind of started working on stuff and getting some more scripts ready and stuff ready for the channel. And I was like, oh, wow. I forgot all about that. I hadn't heard it. I hadn't heard it, the fans running, and it is fairly quiet on the fans. I walked in there, it was done already. And I mean, this had to be 15 minutes. This thing charges super fast. So definitely something handy for a place maybe where you have intermittent power, where maybe your power will go down part of the day and up part of the day. If you're having rolling blackouts like in California, you get these topped off while you got that rolling blackout on, power's on. And then when it hits, turn it on and you're ready to go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try out some high drain devices into it and see how it drains it. I've already tested the USB stuff. I know all that works, but I like to test the inverters and see about how much output we're going to get. So the first thing we're going to do is our little burner and see how well that holds up to this little guy here. Now, something I did want to mention, and I wasn't sure if I was going to mention it because I don't see the product on their website, but this will connect to a secondary battery to double up your capacity. So if you do have a secondary battery, I assume they're going to be coming out with one, maybe, like Blue Eddy and those other companies and EcoFlow that have that second battery. You can connect it on this and connect it to a second battery. So, got the guy here. We're going to turn him on. I do have my AC on. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're at 1,045 watts, 1,051 watts. You'll hear the fan going. I hope you can hear it. It's not very loud. It's like, can you hear it over my heat pump? I turned it all the way up to high. And it's actually settling around, 1,058, 1,040. So it seems to be doing pretty well here. No issues with it whatsoever. Got a nice airflow going through there. And that's pretty darn cool. Okay, so next up, I'm going to turn on something here. Let me turn it off and see how it drops. I like to watch the drop too, because sometimes it'll go down to that and then it goes to 200 and then drops down again. This thing especially does that. So now we're down to 20 watts and 5 watts, and then it's pretty much done. So I like to try out the heat gun because I know that thing is hard on power stations. So let's plug that in. Let me unplug this and move that away because that's now warm. And plug in our heat gun here that I should have unraveled before I put it away. All right, we are on off. Always a good idea never to plug in a device that's already on into an inverter. You always want to keep it off and then turn it on, or turn on the inverter with the device turned on too. So we're going to start this on low here. Okay. And I'm seeing 520. That's about right for this guy here in the 520s. Let's take it to high. 1,000. Yep. Again, about the same range. And the battery capacity is still at 98%. So we're going to let this run a bit and take down that battery capacity a little bit. I always like to start these off fully charged for reviews. And then we're going to plug in a solar panel and see how quickly we can get it topped off just from the part that I run out with this video. So I'll see you in a few minutes, and then we'll try it outside, putting up a solar panel with it. All right, so this is the setup. We're at 95% on the battery. I just put it out here. This is a 200 watt panel, which I've yet to review. I'm actually still testing it, and we're just going to use it for this because it was convenient. We're going to show you around the back here how I have plugged in. There we go. And it is pulling in about 172 watts. So definitely efficient little panel. We're going to be reviewing it later, but definitely wanted to charge this up and see how well it works. So I'll bring you back once it's full, and we'll see how long it takes about. All right, so we're back inside. It is at 100%. Let's turn something on there. As you can see, it took about 28 minutes from 95 to 100 with a 200 watt solar panel. It was getting about 178, 180 watts. All in all, not bad. Very efficient charge control in there. The MPPT charge control, very efficient, definitely works well, and I'm very pleased with it. Like I said, it's a little bit on the heavy side, but that's because there's a whole lot of battery in there. Another neat feature about this, and you know how you hate having to carry your cords around and you lose them everywhere? Well, this one has all the cords stored up top. Now, these are the only cords you're going to be getting. You're going to be getting the USB-C to USB-C, and of course your 12 volt AC power cord, and everything fits right in there, nice and easy. You could easily probably fit an Anderson adapter up there or something for the solar charging. I did try this one here when I was out there playing around with it, and I was able to get charge off this and charge off this. This was a little bit higher, a little more efficient. So definitely a neat little deal. I will have a link down below where you're interested, if you're interested in checking them out. They're a little bit on the pricey side. These are about $1,300, $1,299.99. But for its size and its efficiency, it's definitely a pretty darn good deal. I've seen units like this go for far more. So that is the Nornvin N1400FB. Definitely a nice little system. Something I did notice when I was telling you the name of it, it has down here PB76M. I don't think that's the right designation for it. I'm not sure. Maybe that's their internal designation for it. But it is the Nornvin N1400FB. Very fast to charge, very efficient, definitely handle all the loads we threw at it perfectly fine. So, gotta say, for the price, it's a good darn unit. It's a pretty darn good unit, and I would feel very comfortable having this, say, in an RV, having it as a backup power source for my home, for, you know, minor incidental things. Of course, you're not going to power your whole house off this, but, you know, to run a fridge freezer, to run some backup fridges like we did. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I have another refrigerator review coming, and that definitely came in handy for when my fridge went down. So to have a backup power source when the power's out, definitely a cool thing. Anyway, folks, that's the review for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do check out their link down below. It'll be right down there. Underneath that will be our Amazon affiliate store. In that store, I usually have most of the stuff that I review in my channel, some of the gear I use. If you're not interested in any of that, just click the link, shop as you normally would. It doesn't cost you anything to do, and we really do appreciate when you do that. Definitely helps us bring you more cool gear. Freeze Dry Wholesaler link, 15% off using my link right there. You click that link, shop as you normally would, get to your checkout, get to your shopping cart at the checkout, and you'll see my 15% discount for using my link there. And he has lots of stuff back in stock. It's almost fully back up to normal. So definitely check him out. Get some food in before the panic hits, because we see what happened the last time when there was a little bit of a buying spree there, and for a month and a half he was pretty much out of everything, and they were working 24/7 around the clock. So imagine something big happening and you not being able to get food. So get it while the getting's good, okay? Underneath that, our My Patriot Supply link. That link will save you a lot of money. That's preparewithiridium.com. Right now we have a 4-week food kit special going on there. $80 off. 2,000 calories a day, 16 different varieties, up to 25 years shelf life, breakfast, lunches, dinners, drinks, snacks, everything. $80 off on that 4-week kit. Definitely a good deal. And lastly, our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store. Definitely check them out as well. If you like good, clean, healthy, freeze-dried food with no additives, Thrive is the place to be. And those are the 3 companies that I trust with my own preparedness for freeze-dried food. So definitely check them out down below. I thank you guys for watching. Stay safe and stay powered up and stay prepared.